Who are you responsible for? That's the question I wanted to talk about tonight. Because, let me bring this camera down a little bit. Who are you responsible for? This comes up because when people first approach us to help them, one thing that people say is, I've just not had time because I've got kids. I've not had time because I've got kids. As if that is their excuse for not looking after themselves, for not doing something about their health and fitness, because they've been looking after their kids, which I fully appreciate. Not having kids myself, but having friends and family who all throw themselves into looking after the kids. However, what has happened every single time is that at some point down the line, the kids are growing up and then they look at how they've not been looking after themselves, and then they start wanting to do something, right? They want to get back into some kind of habit for their health and fitness. And the question I ask is, who are you responsible for? And right now, before kids, you're only responsible to yourself. And if you don't look after your own health and fitness, the only person that is going to benefit or suffer really directly is going to be you. But then when kids come along, you are no longer responsible for just yourself. You're responsible for other human beings, okay? And I would love people to use that excuse to drive them forwards. It's not that I can't do it for the kids. It's because you're doing it for the kids. Like, so many people come and they talk about how they want to set a good example to the kids. They want to be around for the kids. They want to be able to run around and be there for the kids, all right? So flip it is what I'm suggesting. Flip it in terms of you're doing it for the kids rather than using them as an excuse or a scapegoat for getting out of doing it, all right? So you can have both in terms of you are allowed to have the kids and look after yourself at the same time. It's not that they're mutually exclusive in terms of you either have kids or you look after yourself. You can do both, right? It's just about remembering that you're setting an example, because kids are like sponges, and when we say things to them, they'll take on a certain percentage of what you say. But what they really learn from is the things that we do around them, right? It's one thing to watch your mouth when you're talking around kids, because they do pick up the words that you say, but it's a total other thing to behave in a certain way, which they then become accustomed to and they learn from, because it's so much about body language and behavior and habits and stuff that you do around them, as well as the actual language you use around them. So think about that. Think about the kids as the fuel to your fire to do something, because you're doing it for the kids, as opposed to you're not doing it because you have kids, right? It's a subtle way to look at it, but it's like one is very positive, one is quite restrictive, and there's opportunity in leading by example, and there's holding you back, and there's like taking the attitude that you can't have both somehow. Whereas I know plenty of people now who are doing both. They have busy lives, they have busy family life, they have work, they have businesses, they run a great social life, and they're also looking after their own health and fitness because they've taken responsibility of their own health and fitness. No longer is it about waiting for something to happen for them to then get their bum into gear. It's actually about realizing that, okay, the only person that can change the way I feel in terms of my own health, fitness, in terms of the way I am fit, the way I'm confident, the way I generally feel, how much energy I've got, how much sleep I can get, all of that kind of just well-being, okay, that ultimately comes from us deciding in the first instance that we, not just deciding, but also reminding ourselves and remembering that we are ultimately responsible for our own health and fitness. No one else is going to do it for us. There are obviously people out there that are going to help us, but ultimately it's down to us to do the work, to put in the time and effort, to lead by example for those around us. Like, you have no idea how many people you will inspire, motivate, and empower by taking responsibility of your own health and fitness, so that in a week, in a month, in a year's time, your life could be totally different because of the one decision you made, which was to take responsibility for your own health and fitness, so that other people in your life benefit as well, right? Whether you've just got a bubble or whether your bubble is massive, okay? Whoever is in that bubble of yours are going to benefit, because you're becoming the best version of yourself in terms of your own health and fitness, and because you're in the best shape that you can be and you feel great and you have all this energy, etc., you can then be there for everyone else in your life. You can lead by example. You can stick around for as long as possible. You can have the energy to run around after them and not get out of breath. You can basically set a good example to those around you, and you're going to inspire them. It's going to be your legacy. It's going to be what you inspire them to do, and then pass it forwards. You motivate them in so many other ways other than just the words that come out of your mouth, in terms of it's actually about the actions that you take, okay? So take responsibility of your own health and fitness. Get guidance, get help where you need it. If you've been trying to work it out all by yourself and it feels like you've been banging your head against a brick wall, find help. There is always someone out there that is willing to help with the thing that you have been struggling with up to date. If it's dieting, if it's mindset, whatever it is, there's someone out there always who is willing to help. All you need to do is find the right people. So one, get guidance to help you save the time, money, and effort that you would otherwise spend going forwards trying to work it out for yourself. Get some kind of community around you, because it's so much easier, it's so much more fun as well if you immerse yourself in a community of other people that are on the same, I want to say, journey. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not about being cheesy. It's actually about, like, it's been proven that you get so much better results if you're doing it with other people, if you have a community, if you immerse yourself and surround yourself with other like-minded people who are all on the same trajectory in terms of wanting to improve the way they feel, all right, in terms of their fitness, health, and happiness, okay? And finally, get empowered in terms of, like, if you want to take responsibility and something's been holding you back, don't make it about yourself. Make it about someone else. Make it about other people. Make it about doing it for the other people that you're responsible for. You owe it to them to look after yourself so that you can then be there for them, all right? And so that you can lead by example, not just by the spoken word, but actually by what you do, by the actions you take on a daily basis in terms of the habits that you create, the behavior you have, and ultimately the results that you get, which comes from getting guidance, having some kind of community around you, and then empowering others around you as well, whether you realize it or not. That's probably the key thing there, is working on yourself and getting to inspire other people by your legacy and by what you do and the actions you take and the results that you get in the long term. Because it's not about what you do just in the long term, it's about what you do over time, what you become known for, what results you can actually get, and results that you can actually hold on to, as opposed to get for some kind of short-term period to get some kind of positive kick for a little while, as opposed to getting results that you can look back on and go, thank funk I did that. Thank funk I did that. Thank funk I chose to take responsibility all those weeks, months, years ago to turn my life around. And the reason I say this is because I'm talking from experience. I hit rock bottom a few years ago, and it was fitness. It was looking after my own health and taking responsibility that pulled me out of that pretty damn low to now feeling so much better, 100% better, 100 times better than I felt back then. So the message is, take responsibility, and if not for yourself, do it for other people that you're going to lead and set an example to.